Hello everyone. We are going to learn basics of Mathematica in this video. No previous experience with Mathematica or Wolfram language is required. Mathematica is a symbolic mathematical computation program and it is used in many scientific, engineering and computational fields. The Wolfram language is the programming language used in Mathematica. It is easy to use and serves an extensible environment for doing basic maths. In addition to performing advanced calculations, the Wolfram language can also be used as a powerful calculator with arbitrary precision. Mathematica runs on every major operating system such as Mac and Windows, and it works exactly the same on every platform. You can download Wolfram Cloud app on your mobile phones, and you can write and deploy programs even on your smartphones. We will use free version of the software available online. For that, we type the word Mathematica. We click on the first link, Mathematica Online. It will take us to Wolfram Mathematica Online, and then we press sign in. Here for the basic plan, we sign up for free. Put your email ID and other information, and you can create your Wolfram ID. If you already have your Wolfram ID, then you can sign in. As I already have my Wolfram ID, I'll put my email ID over here and password. It will take you to your Wolfram account. There here two options appear. My files is for the files already created, and if you click on new notebook, a new notebook will be created. You will see a horizontal line with the plus sign on the left corner and a blinking cursor. This horizontal line means we are ready to create a new cell, and plus sign is the cell insertion assistance. When you click on the plus sign, it brings up the menu that allows you to choose the type of input you want. Let's press other styles of text and title from the drop down menu. Now you have a big blinking cursor on your document. Let's type Mathematica over here. And hit the down arrow key. Now you will again see a horizontal line. It again means that we are ready to type a new circle, and now we press on the plus sign and other styles of text. Here you can see the shortcut keys to select the type of input. This time we choose subtitle, and we type basic calculations over here. And hit the down arrow key. Now if you want to change the formatting of the cell already created, you can select the cell by shift arrow method or by clicking the square bracket on the right of the cell, and then you select the format menu from the menu bar. You will see a formatting panel on the right, and you can change the cell style, which we have chosen subtitle, and you can do the text formatting. Font family is there, font size, font style, color. Suppose I want to make it red color, so I have changed the color of basic calculation to be red, and cell formatting is also there. You can change the background, alignment and frame style. Suppose we want to keep this the title in frame, so we change the frame style as like this. So now it is in a box. Now after doing this formatting, down arrow key, and now we are going to do some simple calculations. For this we need to type in Wolfram language. Wolfram language is by default. So you can see from here, when you press on the plus sign, Wolfram language input, it is by default. What we do here is, what I do here is, I go to the view menu and magnify the view by 150% so that you can see what I am typing. Suppose I want to find sum of 3 and 4, so I will type 3 plus 4. To get the output, we press the setting icon on the right of cell and select evaluate cell, or you can also get the output by hitting the shift enter key. I again type 3 plus 4. Now this time I press shift enter key and I get the same output. Now we use plus and minus keys on the keyboard for addition, subtraction and slash for the division. To multiply two numbers we use star. Suppose I want to multiply 3 and 4, so I type 3 star 4. So by pressing shift enter key I get the multiplication of 3 and 4. There is an alternate to type star. You can multiply two numbers by leaving a space between them. The symbol for multiplication will appear automatically if you leave space between two numbers. For example, I write 3 space 4. This multiplication sign appears. So again shift enter key, so I get the output. Mathematica numbers every input it receives and every output it produces, starting with 1. Now you can also assign the number names to quantities in Mathematica and use those names to refer to the quantities later. To make an assignment, we type A equals 6. For example, the name A followed by equal sign followed by the quantity to which the name is to be assigned. This is useful in many situations. For instance, you should assign a name to a complicated expression to avoid typing again and again. The Wolfram language includes thousands of built-in functions. It is case sensitive and every built-in command begins with a capital letter. Some of the most common built-in functions are trigonometric functions, log, exponential and square root. Suppose we want to find square root of 4. So I type sqrt within square brackets. I type 4 and then I press shift enter key. I get the output. Now suppose we want to define a function fx equals x square. So it is suggested that the name of the function starts with a lowercase letter. This is because all built-in functions such as log x, sin x, square root begin with uppercase letters, and it prevents one to name the functions same as an already typed defined built-in functions. For this, now to define fx equals x square, we type in f, small f, within square brackets I write x underscore and followed by semicolon followed by colon followed by equal, and then we type the function we wish to define, x raised to 2. So for x raised to 2, I type cap 2, x cap 2. So we, in this way, we define a function. Square brackets are to enclose the function argument, and this x, the variable x, that must be followed by an underscore, and on the right hand side we type the quantity we wish to assign. So now if you want to plot this function, we use plot operator, starting with capital P, plot, and within square brackets I type the function I wish to plot, f of x, and separated by comma. Within curly brackets I write the range of x varying from -2, 3. So then I press shift enter key. So I get this curve. The curly bracket over here are used with lists, and square brackets are used with the functions to identify the arguments. If you prefer, you can enter the expression for f directly as the first argument without defining it previously. For example, I type plot within square brackets. Instead of fx, I type here x power 2, comma, within curly brackets the same range I have given above. So I'll get the same plot. Now let's do something more interesting. Suppose we wish to draw the curve with a thicker pen, thicker than the axis. Therefore, for that we type plot style after this curly bracket. So I type plot style, arrow key. Arrow can be inserted by pressing minus and greater than sign. Minus and greater than sign together. This S should be capital plot style. So plot style I give because I want to make it thick. So I type here thick. So I will get a thicker curve. You can compare the two. Okay. Now if I want the curve to be thinner than the axis, in place of thick I will type thin. So when I press shift enter, I get a thinner curve. Curves can also be drawn using dashed line rather than a solid line. So for that we type here dashed, plot style as dashed. So when I press shift enter, I get a dashed line. Now we go ahead and do some more interesting things. Now suppose you want to make the curve to be red. So Mathematica has already predefined several commonly used colors such as blue, red, yellow, green and black. If you wish to have curve drawn in red, I type plot style as red. With that, the name of the color should start with capital letter. Now we get the graph in red. So suppose we wish to plot or curve in red and dashed. So for that I'll make a list of red within curly brackets and dashed. It should be red and dash should be in curly brackets and separated by comma. So when we press it, we'll get red and dashed curve. So Suppose you wish to give label to your graph. For that, you give the command plot label, label with capital L, arrow, and then name of the graph I wish to give. Suppose I want to name it my graph, so I'll type my graph within quotes, and then I press shift enter key. I'll get the label for the plot as my graph. Now axis label is an option for graphic functions that specifies labels for axis. For that, I give the command axis label, again label with capital L, arrow sign, minus and greater than, and within brackets I give the names to x-axis and y-axis, x for x-axis and say f for y-axis, and then I press shift enter. I get the labels x over here and f over here for y-axis. Now if you wish, you can also change the style of label you want. So for that I type comma label style with capital S, arrow, and then I give directive. Within square brackets I type the style I want. Suppose I want to make my labels bold and blue in color, so I type here bold with capital B, comma, and blue, so it will give my labels to be blue and bold. Okay, so now suppose we wish to draw multiple graphs, multiple curves on a same set of axes. For example, we want to see sin x and cosine x on same axis, so we use the command plot within square bracket capital S sin within square brackets x, comma, cos x, and we put these two functions in a curly bracket and we give the range. Suppose we wish to draw these in minus pi to pi. Pi is again a built-in command, so for that we write capital P I, comma, pi. So we get the two curves in a same set of axes. Draw the cosine curve thicker and the cosine curve in dashed. So for that I type, after the curly bracket I type comma plot style, arrow key, and then within curly bracket I type thick and dashed separated by comma, and then I press enter. I'll get the cosine curve in thick and the cosine curve in dashed. Okay, so there are many features that you can do, and you can play with the curves. Suppose we wish to draw curve, the sine curve in thick in red and cosine curve in dashed in green. For that I have to make thick and suppose thick and red within curly brackets, and for sine curve I wish green and dashed, so I type green and dashed. separated by comma, and this should be in, both these styles should be in curly bracket, and then shift enter key. I'll get the cosine curve in green and dashed, and the sine curve in red, and it's thicker than the axis. By using the plot legend option, you simply specify the text for each curve. For that, we type comma plot legend and then arrow key, and within quotes we type expressions, and shift enter key. We will get the names of the curves sin x and cos x. Suppose you wish to give them some other names, say a for sin x and b for cosine x. So in place of expression we type within curly brackets a and b, a within quotes separated by comma, again b in quotes, and then press shift enter key. So I get the names of the sine and sine curve as a, and for cosine as b. Anytime you need any help regarding any command you typed, so go to that command and click on I. Suppose I want to take help for plot command, I'll go to plot and press I below the plot. So a documentation for that command will appear on the right panel, and you can take help from the illustration given over here. Now suppose you wish to fill the area below the curve. You can give the command filling. Suppose I plot a new curve. For that, plot within square brackets I type sin x with capital S, x should be in square brackets, comma, the value x takes, x is varying from 0 to say 15. So this will plot the curve from x varying from 0 to 15, and we want to fill the area below the curve. So I type filling arrow and then bottom, this way I'll get this area as blue. So suppose I have two curves, sin x and cosine x, plot within curly brackets I type sin x, comma, cos x, out of curly bracket I type comma, the range of x, x varying from 0 to say pi. Okay, so I type filling arrow key, and then I type within curly brackets I type 1 2 2 within curly brackets. So I'll get two curves, sin x and cosine x. Now the area shaded is the area between the two curves. Now if you want to save a notebook that you created, now it's a freshly created notebook, and that it has not been saved previously. You can see a spiky logo on the left corner on the top. Below that, there is a tab with unnamed written over there. Click on that and give the name you like. Suppose I give it the name Practical Fun. No, notebooks have the file extension .nb and can be accessed and edited on the desktop, mobile, and cloud devices. You save it to the an appropriate location. So this folder, I want to save it in folder 1. So I'll choose this folder and press this choose button, and now this file will be saved in practical in the folder 1. Keep in mind that the saving and naming routine isn't a Mathematica thing. It is a simple process that is similar as for other programs. Here I would suggest you to go to the quick links on the top bar. So here is quick links, and explore more of these things in detail from the right panel. Getting started using notebooks. Many options are there. Wolfram language. In the next session, we will learn some more functions and commands in Mathematica and how to utilize Mathematica for visual thinking in calculus. See you in next.